Hi, this is Jason with Manifested Mercy again. Another video we're going to do today. This is actually a follow-up on a post that we made yesterday, but 24 hours later, felt that this needed to be put in video form. As always, Manifested Mercy videos are roughly 10 minutes in length. The intent behind these is to assist and aid those who are battling addictions and recovery, those who are fighting incarceration issues, and those who've been victimized. Every video that we do post on Facebook. They are available on our YouTube page. And you can also find them on our Manifested Mercy page, which I've actually been working on the last week or two, and the page is a bit more functional. So feel free to check us out there. Each of these topics can definitely be expanded into an hour and a half. Can't speak. An hour and a half discussion and or presentation, which would be appropriate for consultation and or programming. So anyways, today we're going to continue to talk about, and I want to really express the importance of understanding enabling, and specifically enabling in relationships. I had a former colleague that I was blind to the fact that we'd been enabling. And I've also worked with a wonderful family whom we helped teach through the process of how not to enable their loved one who was battling some addiction and recovery issues. I've recently watched a person whom now have realized is living in an enabling relationship. And so this is a hard one. Obviously, we love these people in our lives who might be battling these issues, and we want to help them. The problem is sometimes part of that process is we will deny or look past the issues that they're dealing with, whether it be criminal thinking or their addictions, and we ignore tackling them and holding them accountable and using what we call tough love. I kind of hate the word, but the whole intent is that we don't want to beat around the bush. Addiction is what it is. It's addiction. We have to treat it that way, talk about it that way, and not try to sugarcoat it, cover it up, or lessen it. So here's the thing. Enabling a relationship starts to become a bit of codependency. It might be that we're a fixer, like myself, and so therefore we figure that if we keep spending time with that person and not really pushing for them to get the help they need or face the issues they're going through, we aren't helping them at all. And they start becoming codependent on our behavior and start wanting us to fix them every time they're broken instead of doing it themselves. I had a discussion today with a colleague of mine whom it was very deep into the understanding. Let's face it, if you are trying to remove yourself from criminal thinking, and if you are trying to remove yourself from your addictive ways, then you need to do it for yourself, and you need to be able to do it without somebody else. Now, look, we believe in accountability. We believe in accountability partners, support people, and sponsors. However, they are there to help us when times are tough and for us to recognize the need to be able to turn to people when we need help. However, if we're not willing to put the work in ourselves, so for instance, you go to some type of recovery program, AA, NA, Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery, any type of home group, hopefully those groups are providing you with a tool to take with you each week, teaching you something new. You go home to try something, come back the next time to your meeting, and you're able to report on how you did, if it worked for you or not, and find a new tool. For most of us, it could take a list of 10 tools to find 1 to 2 that'll work for us. Here's what I want people to understand, is just because you're not using doesn't mean you're clean. Just because you are not, if you are in recovery, not using doesn't mean you're clean. Just because you are not acting out criminally doesn't mean you aren't using criminal thinking. There's a huge difference. And if we're being enabled by loved ones we're with, then we potentially are still not sober because we're still living out ways that's going to lead us back to those patterns and we haven't worked out those issues in our lives. With some of my addictive issues that I've dealt with, very specifically sexual in nature, I found through some counseling and therapy that I currently get that I've got issues and habits that I've lived for decades that I have to work those things out in fear and trembling, and I have to find solutions to those things and learn to differently think through and act through them, or else I'm still potentially dealing with those same addictive thoughts and therefore words and therefore actions, even if I'm not acting out sexually. you got to be able to help yourself. You've got to be able to work on it yourself, and you've got to be able to know what to do. A friend of mine who's also in recovery would always share at meetings that what's your backup plan and what's your way out. It's important to have those type of tools. So part of being able to avoid some major enabling and relationships issues is there's a balance you need. You need a balance in your life. You need to be able to fill your life with things that are not going to be overwhelming and become new addictions, and things that are new. So we're all normal, regardless of whether we battle these things or not, but we need a new normal. And to get to that new normal, we have to change our ways. If you've lived a life where you've never been expected to maybe work, never been expected to provide or take care of whatever, whether it be other people, whether it be a house, whether it be your own issues, then being a person who just stays at home and lets somebody else take care of you isn't going to help you. You're just going right back to your old ways. And that's not safe. Even if you've got however long your chip tells you you've been clean, or however long your group applauds you for when you say, I'm clean for 69 days, whatever the number is. So in Manifest of Mercy, we have 6 points. And if you have an importance of balance, then you need to look through these points and then expand it more. I mean, are you in safe housing? And that falls into the realm of enabling. If you're in a relationship where they just let you do things that aren't healthy, then that's maybe not safe housing, and you need to rethink that process and how you're going to change that. You need to be in some type of gainful employment and task. Look, working is important for many reasons. And if you are not working and think that that's okay because you've got a partner who can take care of you. Now, look, I'm not saying if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad taking care of the kids, that's not a job. That is a job. What I am saying is that if you could be working, even the effort of looking for a job fills your time and gives you self-worth. Gainful employment is about bringing home money that helps pay bills. In many cases, for many of us that have dealt with addictions in criminal ways, we owe money to the state. We owe child support. We owe reparations. There are many victim funds out there that we can give money to give back. That's important as part of our process of working through our issues. We have to do these things. It's important for the livelihood of others. Our children deserve child support. Victims deserve to be repaid. Even if it's not financial, there's something we can do to give back to show that we found the remorse. So therefore, gainful employment helps with finances. It helps with keeping us busy. It helps with self-worth. It's a resume builder. I always tell people that are looking for jobs, you should be daily doing 3 face-to-face interviews 4 days a week, and that 5th day a week, whatever your 5 days is during the week, should be on the computer doing 10 resumes a day. You'll probably get rejected from 9 of them if you have a background or past. But if just one of them calls you back, that's the point. And when you're offered a job, take the job. And don't leave the job unless you've got another job in place. Don't leave the job because it's interfering with programs. Don't leave the job because it's interfering with volunteering, because the fact remains is, and I've got a huge long list of all the programs in our area here in Alton, Illinois, there's meetings that range from morning to evening all day, 7 days a week. You can make another meeting. You shouldn't leave a job without another job in place, or leave a job just because it interferes with a little bit of this or a little bit of that. Bad reason to leave a job. We work because it's work. And all the reasons I expressed why it's important. So, safe housing, gainful employment, faith base. Look, if you're living with somebody and they're not living out that faith, if they're not practicing that faith, and again, it doesn't have to be a particular service. Many churches in the area have services other days of the week. Current church we attend, Enjoy Church, has services Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And there's several services on Sundays. So therefore, if I couldn't make a particular meeting, I go to another one. I'm practicing out that faith base in worship and in fellowship, and then also in my home life with, for me, devotions and Bible study and prayer. Those are things I do to act out my faith base, as well as then the fellowship of the people I spend time with, who are awesome people. Without knowing my issues in some cases, they hold me accountable and lift me up. And that keeps you from being enabled, because you're actually living out a life that is normal and non-criminal and non-addictive. Programming and education. I just talked about how don't let programs get in the way of work. But at the same time, you need to take programs in education. Tim Ryan, he shared a couple years ago when he was in Wood River for an event we had, how he tries to find a meeting every day to go to and won't miss them. For him, that's important. Now, I would sit back and say that some people are addicted to programs because they think that will help them and solve them. Tim's not one of those, so please don't think I'm saying that. However, Some people need to go to meetings daily. They're that deep in their addiction, they recognize if they're not, it's too easy for them to slip. For other people, they go to a meeting thinking that's what's going to solve their problems. That's not healthy. But if you're going to a meeting, you're getting a tool out of it, and you're getting accountability, then that's a potentially productive, powerful meeting that keeps you from being enabled by your loved one. Loved ones, if you are in a relationship with somebody and they're not going to meetings, that needs to change. By the way, education and therapy, counseling can count as those things for short term. At some point, however, they've got to get back to life and going to other things. Community family. So this is exactly what we're talking about. You need to have community family around you, people who love you, support you, but hold you accountable and don't enable. If they see something that looks awkward, they're going to call you out on it, say, hey, you're doing this, and I remember you were doing this back when you were using. I don't think that that's very safe. I wanted to bring that up. Don't beat around the bush. Call them out on them. And finally, accountability. Have a good support person, sponsor, accountability partner. Have people you check up with regularly. I have 4 men in my life, one who is on my board, who I'm checking up with on a daily basis. So when things aren't going well, they are hearing from me within 24 hours, and I am working to make that to hear from me within 12 to 6 to 3 to get to the point where my mind processes immediately if something's not going right. If my depression, anxiety are kicking in, my addictive ways are kicking in, I get a hold of them as quick as possible, because just the reaching out to someone that holds you accountable will strengthen you. Look, here's the thing. Just because you aren't using doesn't mean you aren't in your old ways. If you are in a relationship and you are allowing people to do things that they used to do, or you're not even aware of them, you need to figure them out, and you need to hold them accountable, and you need to push them to do the things that will prevent them from going back to their old ways. Remember, loads of free time is dangerous. Dangerous for all of us who are fighting addictive ways and criminal thinking, for people who are dealing with major issues where we've been victimized. That's where the depression, anxiety kick in, and we look for something to solve it. And the old habits, what's going to kick in? And we don't want that. Folks, I'm telling you, if you even think there's a chance you're enabling your partner, take the time to reach out, ask questions, and sit down and have a heart-to-heart with this person. Tell them you're worried that you're letting them get away with things that they shouldn't, and you want to help them not do that and put the work and effort in. Make sure that they're invested in changing their own life and that you're not doing it for them. Hopefully that helps a little bit. A lot of information there, stuff that we can expand. If nothing else, remember, you are loved and you are more than the choices you've made. Have a great day.